want that? Then I respectfully ask for your vote. Ladies and gentlemen, Leader John Boehner, the next Speaker of the U.S. House.
Let me first say thanks to all of you for what you're doing to help Andy. And I also want to thank Andy and his wife for putting themselves on a ballot and doing this. This is, it's a tough challenge. Put your name on a ballot, go out there and ask people to support you, take all the slings and arrows and put up with everything you have to put up with. And on behalf of our team, I want to say thanks for doing it. And thank all of you, because none of us who get elected by ourselves. It takes volunteers, it takes contributors, and it takes a team. You know, in sports, there's a limit to the number of players on each team to keep it fair. But in politics, there's no limit to the number of players you can have on your team, so why not go out and build a bigger team than your opponent? Now, if you have a name like mine, Boehner, Boehner, you better have a bigger team than your opponent, right? Because you're not going to win if they can't say your name. But listen, there are 10 days left. And I can tell you I've been in 150 American cities. And the enthusiasm that I see in this room is the same kind of enthusiasm I have seen all year, every place that I've been. Our voters can't wait to go vote. They can't wait to go in there and say no to the Obama-Pelosi agenda that they've seen rammed through the country. I just grew up the road up to I-75 in Cincinnati. I have 11 brothers and sisters, and my dad owned a tavern. I'm the last guy in the world who ought to be here. But I, like all of you, was raised in America where you grew up and be anything you want to be and do anything you want to do. I was lucky enough to get into a small business and grow it into a successful business. I'm here because the American dream was alive and well. And all of you are here because the American dream was alive and well. But the American dream is under attack in Washington, D.C. today. One only has to look at their stimulus bill that was going to create jobs immediately. Make sure unemployment didn't go above 8%. It didn't work. You look at their trillion-dollar deficits for as far as the eye can see in their budget and all the spending, guess what? It didn't work. Then when you look at what they tried to do to have a national energy tax, a cap-and-trade bill, that would basically ship about 2.5 million jobs a year overseas for 5 consecutive years. This is not what the American people want. And then you all remember the health care debate. It all went on for over a year. We talked about it, we debated it, and for that matter, most Americans voted on it. They wanted no part of it, and yet they saw their Congress shove it down their throat. Well, let me just remind you of this. Down at the Obama 7-hour infomercial at the Blair House, right before the health care vote, the president said, you know, we're going to try to come to some agreements, but when we disagree, that's what elections are for. Well, let me tell you what. This is what this election was all about. The job-killing policies coming out of Washington, D.C. We can stop this. And we can do it by electing Andy Barr as your next congressman. I was around in 1994 and helped write the contract, traveled the country. We never saw anything like what we're seeing today. But just like 1994, while there may be a big wave out there, you still have to win all of these seats one at a time. There are over 100 races around the country that are in play this November, in 10 days. Over 100 races. A normal election year, you have 20, 30 races. Well, let me tell you, this is one that we can win. It's why I'm here. And we've got 10 days to get it done. 10 days to do everything. I told my colleagues in January, this was the year, this was the moment. And I told them I was all in. And I'm going to ask all of you over the next 10 days to be all in. Whether it's knocking on doors, making the phone calls, because polls don't decide elections. The people who vote do. We need to turn all of those people out on November 2nd, and if we do, we'll be able to have a big win, and I'll be able to make a phone call on election night to Andy Barr, congratulating him on being the new congressman for I just want to say thanks. Thanks on behalf of our entire team for everything that you're doing. Andy, Carol, thank you for everything you're doing. This is a cause that means something. You know, you've always heard that every election you hear, this is the most important election of our lifetime. And sometimes they are, and sometimes they aren't, but I'll guarantee you this election is the most important election of our lifetime to put a stop to all of the nonsense in Washington. God bless all of you, and God bless our great country.